In this video, I want to talk about the Real Money Auction House, which was just added into the game recently. When the game was launched, the Real Money Auction House was not available. As a result, players only had access to the Gold Auction House. Since the update to 1.0.3, you can now access the Real Money Auction House, which allows you to buy and sell items with real cash. To get started, you're going to have to go to Battle.net and sign up for an account that will allow you to add and deposit money into your account, and or remove money if you make a sale. There are two options here. You can either use the Battle.net balance or you can use a PayPal account. Any money that is kept within your Battle.net balance, for example, if you decide that you want to use the money you earn by selling items to buy other items, can be kept there without any fees associated with it. If you use a PayPal account, however, there will be fees associated with every transaction you make. If you click this button, it will take you into the Battle.net area of the site where you can make those changes and get some money in your account to get started. You can start with as little as $1 in your balance, so don't feel obligated to load it up with a lot of money until you're sure exactly how you want to use it. This is the basic interface for the Real Money Auction House. As you can see, it's exactly the same as the Gold Auction House. The major difference, of course, is that when you search for an item, what shows up has real cash associated with it. Now, there are a lot of things to keep in mind when buying and selling items in the Real Money Auction House. For example, this is just a basic search for this level 16 Barbarian. One-handed weapons, all types, no rarity problems. And so it throws up a few magic items here. Rakanishu's Blade. And these various items, obviously they have different statistics. This is Diablo 3 after all. But it also affects the price of the item. Now, some of these you can ignore outright. $250. Obviously, somebody set it really high. It's not that much stronger than any other weapon here, and it's only a level 16 weapon. But other items might be more appropriately priced. For example, this one has a bid of $4 with a buy out of 20. Similar items here have bids of 125, buy out of 250. So this particular weapon, we could safely say, is worth somewhere between $2 and maybe $10 at the upper end, ignoring the rest. This is one of the major problems with the Real Money Auction House that you're going to find, especially early on, is determining what items are worth, especially with the lower level items that are very saturated on the market. As the game falls into a groove and gets a good idea of the supply and demand for these specific items, especially at the higher levels, you'll find things a lot easier to gauge in terms of what you can and cannot sell things for. So let's bump this up to Legendary and see what people are selling Legendary items for. Again, it's giving us items that are within our level range. This is a level 15 spear, and we have a very wide range of buyout prices. Some people have set it for $240, $250. Others have set it for $5 or $7. And for $5, that's a pretty good item. Again, you're leveling up quickly. I don't know how much you necessarily want to invest in items at this level, especially as it's right in the middle of Act 2. You might want to save that money for when you make the jump between normal mode and Nightmare, or Nightmare to Hell especially. But there are some items that you're going to find that are either rare, that are maybe just hard to find and you just want to have a copy of, or that will give you a nice edge at this point in the game, especially against a boss. So, if we change the level range here, and we put it to 30 and up, we're going to get a slightly higher price range. These are all level 30 items and up. This is going to get us into Nightmare and Hell mode, and therefore, and then some of these are even significantly higher. This is a level 60 item, Legendary Dagger, and it has a buyout price of $249.99 and a bid of $199.99. One of the the downfalls here of the real money auction house, you can't see how many bids there are. You don't know if people are bidding on these items, if these are reasonable prices. If you're buying and selling a lot of items, you're going to want to spend a lot of time getting a feel for the real money auction house and determining what items sell and what items don't. It won't be easy with certain things that show up a lot. Certain items are they're plentiful. They show up a lot, and it's not necessarily easy to know if there's demand for that or if there's just a lot of people selling it for entirely too high. But eventually these prices will come down. The people are going to post them for this. It's not going to sell. They're going to post it for slightly less because they do want to sell it. All right. The gem search here is also in its very early phases. There aren't necessarily that many available, especially at the higher levels. As you can see, nothing shows up right now, and it might just be that that particular feature isn't working yet, or there just are not any on the auction house at this moment. Equipment is very big right now. Gold is not yet working properly, but as this is actually going to be more of a consistent price, although it is falling just due to simple inflation. Farmers in particular are driving up the volume of gold on the auction house significantly, which might be the reason why it's not working at the moment. But these are all things you need to keep in mind. You need to keep in mind the supply and the demand of an item, and then the usefulness of that item. The items that are going to sell for the most are going to be those items that are the best available in slot when players are making the switch between difficulty levels, or right before they face a boss in a higher difficulty level. For Hell and Inferno especially, players will be buying new gear constantly because they need to level up. And every level they go at that point is going to be hard fought. So, and another thing to keep in mind is again that the hardcore players cannot use the real money auction house. So your main market here is players who are leveling up between 1 and 60, and it is those who are using normal mode with usually in Hell and Inferno, and then of course there'll be a decent market for gems and gold and these things. So this is the real money auction house at a very brief glance. You can spend a lot of time in here. I recommend that you do. You acclimate yourself with how it works and what the what people are using it for, what they're selling, what they're buying, what the prices are. You might have to play around with prices for a little while to get a good idea, but already people are making a fairly decent profit in here by finding and selling the right items. So enjoy and hopefully make a lot of money.